Hey YouTube, Real Racing Tech here. Well, here's the outcome with the bike. Figured out as you know, it didn't have no spark. So turned out the pickup coil was bad. So I changed the pickup coil. That's the pickup coil. As well, before I ruled out the pickup coil, what I did was go through the harness because it seemed like the harness was retaped with not the factory tape, and it didn't have the factory badging on it. This badging right here on the harness, you always know if your harness was already into or somebody went into it if it doesn't have the badging. It's usually white, yellow, green, or blue, depending on the bike, make, and model. So what I did was I got a new harness that I found on eBay. I was luckily very lucky to find one in its original form, no cuts, nothing. As well, this is the old harness right here. I took the tape off of it. So all this exposed wires you see, there was tape all over that. But there were parts where, for instance, where the rectifier goes, as you can see, the black on the wires, these wires are yellow. All that black stuff you see on the wires right there is cheap Harbor Freight tape. Most of us know the difference. So there were parts here that were soldered, like I showed you in the other video. So I went and got a new harness. This is where the rectifier went. Right here. It plugs up here. Even here, as you can see, somebody heat shrinked them and put them together. And if you see that black wire on the left, and the next wire is a yellow wire, which doesn't even look yellow no more. They're cracked at the bottom there. So I got a new rectifier. Bought a new pickup coil from eBay. Shout outs to Caltrick. That's the company I got the pickup coil from. See the number right there? Should you ever need a pickup coil for any bike, they have pickup coils, harnesses, all type of stuff. So shouts to Caltrick. Definitely a good company. It came in a couple days. I was at work and it popped up. I was happy about that. So basically I changed everything. This was the CDI. This is the inside of the CDI. For some reason I thought that the CDI was burnt out. And I don't think the CDI was burnt out. I opened this one up because on the back of it, I'm going to show you on the new one right here. On the back of it, you see these little rocks. I thought it was burnt out, so I was like, let me just change it. But that's not the case. They all come like this. So if you see this on the back of CDI, it doesn't necessarily mean it's burnt out. But I do believe that this one was burnt out because the pickup coil was burnt. I tested with a ohm meter. It wasn't getting no readings at all. Yeah, actually it was getting a reading. It's supposed to read 00, but It wasn't reading 00, it was reading something else. I tested the rectifier, that was burnt out as well. So it turned out that somebody was in this bike before trying to figure out why it didn't have spark, and they went through the wires. So what they did was they put the wires to the stator backwards, the coil wires backwards, and that in turn burnt out the CDI, which is this one. Burnt out the rectifier, and this ground wire up by the thermostat on this old harness right here. See if I can find that for you guys real quick. On this harness, the ground wire was melted. It's here somewhere. Sorry. Okay, right here. See how it's melted? And then they went into the harness here, sorted it up here. So it obviously burnt out some stuff. But it's running now. Only thing left to do is clean the carbs, because they're kind of, starts up with choke. It only stays running with the choke right now. Let's see if I can start it off for you guys real quick. Might be a little loud because I'm in the garage. Said I gotta clean the carbs. So it starts up with the choke, so that's a good sign. It's obviously been sitting for a long time. I gotta put the air box back on properly, so that's why it's idling a little funny right now. But she sounds good and promising. Clean out the carbs next. Clean out the carbs next. Sorry if you couldn't really hear me like that, but as you can see, she starts now. Clean out the carbs next. Get some new plugs. And after I get her running where she's idling on her own without the choke, after I clean out the carbs, I will start tearing apart. Here's the rear frame. I actually have two rear swing arms. They're both the same. I haven't figured out which one I'm going to use yet. But they're both the same. And then once I get the motor out and everything, then I can start mocking up and measuring, because this has to get extended right here. This rear arm has to get extended. Either one has to get extended. It has to get cut right in the middle here somewhere and extended 11.5 inches back. So I have to come back to here a little bit. And then that's the next process. But as you can see, she starts up. Sounds healthy and promising. As you can see, the mileage there, 17 miles, 17.6 miles. Like I said, this bike came from a motorcycle school, so they barely rode it. at all. 17 miles. And from what I know, it only went around inside of a parking lot, which is probably about an acre, around cones and stuff like that. And that's pretty much it right there. So yeah, new harness, new rectifier, new pickup coil, new fuse box, CDI, rectifier. I also got 2 other coils. I got a deal on that whole set. The rectifier, the CDI, the fuse box, this other relay right here. I got all of that for a decent price. I can't even complain, because the CDI box alone, if you try to find it anywhere, it's anywhere from 80 to the most expensive one I seen used was about $225 on eBay. Brand new from Kawasaki, they want $485. In total, I got almost $200. Let's just say that, with the harness and all the components, extra coils, and the new pickup that's already in here. Almost $200. So not a bad deal. Yeah, she's looking good, promising. So